What's up everybody, it's Matt here again from FilterGrade, and today I'm going to be going over how to scan Polaroids at home with the Epson Perfection V550 photo scanner. So to get started, we're going to just take a look at some different Polaroids. I'm just going to pick a few, and then let's go ahead and load up the Epson Perfection, or the Epson Scan 2 software. Alright, so to get started, you're going to switch it to document mode because we're not scanning any negatives. And then go ahead and load up the scanner. I usually like to start off by getting the dust out off of it, and then I use some like eyeglass spray or alcohol wipes. Just make sure whatever you use is safe on the scanner because you don't want to be ruining the glass or anything like that. So I just wipe it down and then give it one more pass. And then I usually just set the Polaroid down as in the center as I can get it, but if it's not perfect, I'll just crop it later. So go ahead and click on preview to see where exactly the scan is and everything. Okay, so as you can see, you might get something that's wrong, and that's because I forgot to change this setting to document. And so I'm going to go ahead and hit change this to color. Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to do another preview just because I still think it looks a bit off to start. Okay, so you can go ahead and zoom in to get a better look on it by pressing on this. Alright, so now we're a bit more zoomed in, and you can see all the details along the corners, the edges. You can even see the drop shadow, just so that you can see the whole Polaroid. You even get all the details, all the colors. So we can go ahead and change this to scan it at whatever you want, whether it's TIFF or JPEG. I prefer scanning in TIFF because then you can blow things up a bit larger, but for right now I'll just scan it as a JPEG. And then I'm going to go ahead and change the file name. I usually try and label it by year, then month, then day, and then whatever the file is. So today I'll do 2020 30, and then I'll just do test. And I usually try and stay consistent with the numbering. Go ahead there, and then we're going to go ahead and find the folder to place the photo in. So alright, so let's go ahead and see what we get. Go ahead and click scan. I'm scanning at 300 DPI right now just for this test, but you can go up as high as you want depending on the quality you'll need. So it goes to open up the folder right away, and there you have it. There's your first Polaroid scan. Looks super nice. There's a little bit of background scuff that was on my white backdrop, but you can edit that out in post. And then so usually from here, I'll take the Polaroid into Lightroom or Photoshop, crop it if I want to, or just readjust everything. But let's go ahead and scan another Polaroid, maybe a black and white one this time. So usually when I'm scanning Polaroids, I try not to scan with the black and white setting because it can come out wonky, a bit like how it just was. So let's go ahead and zoom back in on this. Okay, so this is what you get when you're scanning the black and white Polaroid. I like to scan it in color for the image type, because when you scan in black and white, it can come out a bit wonky like this because it doesn't render the colors properly in the document mode. But I've tried grayscale before, which gives you that full black and white tone. However, just off of a preference thing, I like scanning my black and white Polaroids in color for the image type, because I think it gives it more of a hazy kind of brown, like vintage tone look, but that's purely off of preference. So I'm gonna go ahead and click scan. And we can go ahead and open that one up. Perfect. And then I'm gonna go ahead and scan it as well in grayscale mode just to give you a look. Alright, so now you can see the difference between these two. So on the left we have the grayscale, which gives you the full black and white Polaroid, and then on the right we have a black and white Polaroid that was scanned with a color image type in Epson Scan settings, which gives you a little bit of a brown tone. And let's go ahead and also scan one of the color Polaroid film photos with the grayscale to see what that looks like as well. So we're going to be using this color film photo, and I'm going to go ahead and scan it with the grayscale image type. Let's go ahead and preview that. And I'll zoom in. Alright, so as you can see with the grayscale, it'll take all the color out of it. Similar to Lightroom or Photoshop, but you can just do it in Epson Scan to get that look beforehand. So just again, here's the color difference. And I'm going to go ahead and just also play around with some of the settings. You can change the brightness and contrast a bit if something looks a bit off. Some of the times you need to be careful though, because this could also affect the border. As you can see, you lose some of the shadow detail right here. If I put it back to 0, you can still see it again. So just be careful about that if you start to play around with the brightness and contrast, because you don't want to lose the film border. But if you're just scanning, for example, right inside, then it might be something you're looking for, but something I would recommend is just always keep an eye out for the border, because many times with Polaroids, the reason that they're a physical photo is so that they shouldn't be edited or anything like that. So I usually, for me at least, I try and keep it as clean and consistent as possible. So let's go ahead and scan this. So let's go ahead and open this up, and there you can see the color Polaroid that I shot, and I scanned it in black and white. And so that's about it. That's how you scan your Polaroids at home. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below or reach out to me on Instagram. I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks.